designed for non-clinical hospital staff who come into contact with mothers and babies. We hope that you enjoy this short presentation today. As we go along, you will see information being highlighted, pointed to, or circled to draw your attention to important facts. Your hospital is either in the process of becoming baby-friendly or is striving to maintain the baby-friendly accreditation. This means that things will be operating differently in your hospital. You might notice big changes or little changes, but either way, becoming baby-friendly is a special change. Although you might not work with many mothers and babies directly, you might not realise that for your hospital to be baby-friendly, they will need your help. The role that you play within the hospital will contribute to the success of your hospital becoming or maintaining baby-friendly standards. You can make this positive contribution just by knowing about the Baby-Friendly Hospital Initiative and the 10 steps to successful breastfeeding. Also, by understanding the importance of breastfeeding and by being supportive of new mothers in your hospital, you can have a positive impact on achieving baby-friendly standards. So, what is baby-friendly? This little guy definitely wants to know. Let's start with the history of the Baby-Friendly Hospital Initiative. The Baby-Friendly Hospital Initiative was launched in 1991 by the World Health Organization and UNICEF. It is a worldwide initiative that provides guidelines that outline requirements and practices regarding breastfeeding. The goal of the Baby-Friendly Hospital Initiative is to protect, promote, and support breastfeeding practices worldwide. There are two important parts to the Baby-Friendly Hospital Initiative. The first is the WHO Code, and the second is the 10 steps to successful breastfeeding. We'll start by looking at the WHO Code. The WHO Code specifies the rules relating to the marketing of breast milk substitutes, and it's very important if your hospital wants to become baby-friendly that they comply with this international policy. Briefly, the WHO Code means that no bottles or infant formula will be displayed, promoted, or given to mothers as gifts. We all know that mothers can easily lose confidence in their ability to breastfeed their babies when they see these types of advertisements, particularly in a hospital. The WHO Code helps to ensure that the hospitals understand this and adhere to best practice. Next, we'll have a look at each of the 10 steps to successful breastfeeding. To support a new mother in hospital and help her towards breastfeeding success, the 10 steps to successful breastfeeding introduce specific practices for health professionals. We'll now go through each of these steps one by one. Have a written breastfeeding policy that is routinely communicated to all healthcare staff. This step is often the very first one taken by a hospital, so the breastfeeding policy might already be available to you. It would be a great idea to have a look at the policy or to know where it is. You can also ask any of the staff in the maternity unit of your hospital. The policy will outline the exact procedure that the hospital takes in relation to breastfeeding and is a great source if you have any questions about practices. Train all healthcare staff in the skills necessary to implement this policy. All staff who come into contact with mothers and babies are provided with differing degrees of education. The primary care staff, such as nurses and midwives, are required to complete up to 20 hours of education, with practical training included. As a non-clinical staff member, your education doesn't need to be as in-depth, but it is just as important. Inform all pregnant women about the benefits and management of breastfeeding. By explaining to mothers the advantages of breastfeeding and the effect formula can have on their baby, the staff are helping her to make the best decision for her and her baby. Help mothers initiate breastfeeding within a half hour of birth. This step is often achieved through a practice called skin to skin. Skin to skin is also known as kangaroo care. It helps the baby to stay warm, and it also helps develop their instinct to breastfeed. Also, a mother will never forget their very first cuddle with their newborn baby. Show mothers how to breastfeed and how to maintain their lactation even if separated from their infants. It's unfortunate, but sometimes a mother and her baby need to be separated for medical reasons. But even in these cases, baby should receive breast milk wherever possible. Expressing milk helps a mother to maintain her milk supply while separated from her baby. Give newborn infants no food or drink other than breast milk unless medically indicated. It's important for mothers to understand that their breast milk is the perfect combination of everything their baby needs for the first 6 months of their life. Giving other food or drinks in the first 6 months can disturb or reduce breastfeeding. Practice rooming in to allow mothers and babies to remain together 24 hours a day. If your hospital had a nursery for healthy babies before, then you might see that the nursery is no longer being used when this step is implemented. Rooming in reduces the instances of cross-infection and promotes mother-baby bonding. Encourage breastfeeding on demand. Breastfeeding should occur whenever the baby is hungry. It's hard to imagine, but babies have tiny stomachs, and because of this, they need to eat more frequently than an adult. Scheduled feeding can lead to breastfeeding problems. Give no artificial teats or dummies to breastfed infants. Also known as pacifiers, these teats or dummies can disrupt breastfeeding as babies can have reduced time spent suckling at the breast. Foster the establishment of breastfeeding support and refer mothers on discharge from the facility. It's well known that having support networks and resources for breastfeeding mothers will help to support them throughout the breastfeeding period and maintain high breastfeeding rates. Phew, now you know all of the 10 steps. But don't forget that it's also an important part of your role to understand the importance of breastfeeding and to help support new mothers in your hospital. We'll talk about these 2 points now. Firstly, breastfeeding is natural and normal, which is a very important concept to understand. It protects both the mother and the baby in many ways, and it has been proven to provide baby with the very best start in life. Breastfeeding is important for many reasons. For baby, breastfeeding is associated with higher intelligence, protection from diabetes and heart disease when older, reduction in childhood obesity, and it reduces the risk of infection. For mother, it might reduce the risk of osteoporosis, some types of cancers, as well as returning them to their pre-pregnancy weight. For everyone else, breastfeeding is free, environmentally friendly, and requires no special equipment. You can be a great support person for new mothers just by understanding baby-friendly concepts and the value of breastfeeding. Another way to support a mother if she asks you for help or advice is to confidently refer her to any number of valuable resources. Resources include your hospital. They are working towards baby-friendly or are accredited as a baby-friendly hospital already, so the nursing and medical staff will have the knowledge to assist right away. Alternatively, you can refer the mother to a private lactation consultant, to a local mothers group, or to your National Breastfeeding Association. Just being positive in general about breastfeeding can make such a difference to a new mother. Remember, breastfeeding is natural and normal. Be proud that your hospital supports breastfeeding. With just a little knowledge, you can help to normalise breastfeeding and put new mothers at ease. You can also help refer mothers to excellent breastfeeding resources and make a difference in their and their babies' lives. Thank you very much for listening to this short presentation on the Baby Friendly Hospital Initiative.